head injury.
So it is a little one.
A farmer bring it in. He said one of his guys had it.
Oh, it's infected, yeah.
They tried to feed it porridge or something. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get him switched over and we can get your box.
We're going to get you the box. Just 1 second.
No problem.
Yeah, gloves.
So it was rescued by a farmer from people who had it and were feeding it the wrong kind of diet. We're not too sure what the head injury is caused from, but we'll see how we can treat this little one.
Oh, look at the poor buddy.
Boy?
Girl. Yeah, let's get it.
We are very skinny.
Forget digital scales and black.
No, I think it's a boy. It's a boy? I think it's a boy. Could you check? It's now it's a hole. It's a boy. It's a boy. Hi. Want to sit down? Want to sit down? That's okay. Do you want to start cleaning or do you want pictures? Okay, sugar. Do you want fluids first or clean? Let's do fluids first. Oh, you want the warm water? No, this one. You want this one? This one is too warm. Doesn't matter which one of these two. I mean, I'm not sure he's going to go anywhere, but... No, I don't think so. Right, Papa? Be cool. Can you see your mouth? Oh, you have lots of teeth. Lots and lots of teeth.
That shit out so there's no more.
That would be weird.
I don't know if you've got a flat braid, it's easier to try and shave that head.
Yeah, we have a few over there in the cupboard.
And they're all the little buddies.
Hello, bud.
Have they not got those ones without the silly blue on?
Yeah.
There's little fingers.
Do you want me to carry on or wait for this? It's a little boy. A little boy. Yeah, I'm going to shave your head. So why we have the... No, this is... This new baby's just drank quite a lot of rehydration, had some meds to help with inflammation and pain and infection, and you can see he's now sitting up. His eyes at least are bright, but he has got a serious head wound. As you can see, it's also infected, so he's on a course of antibiotics as well. And a little boy.
Well, this poor little one is in serious condition. All we can do is pray and help he's strong enough to pull himself through. We're not too sure what caused the injury. It is conducive to a bite by a big male, but it's very hard to say. But let's just hope he comes right.
So we're here at James' Troop in the intro cage, and we have Charlotte. So those unfamiliar with Charlotte, she was rescued from the town nearby, Tsanin. She was found in the back garden. She had a wound on her head and she was very she was semi-conscious. So we took her to the vet, and turns out she had she'd been shot by a pellet gun. So she moved down here last week or 2 weeks ago, and we're now going to introduce her to one of the troop monkeys and get her a little friend. It's not really a foster mom, more of a guardian, so she can start socializing with the troop. So we're probably looking for Lychee. This is Aisha and Teo. The problem with Teo is if you let him in, you might not get him out for ages.
That is the problem with Teo.
So probably better to start with someone else.
Not even Aisha? When he moved?
Yeah, Aisha's fine.
Little Teo is one of last year's orphans. He arrived in March of 2021 after being kept for a pet for a little while. Aisha has more of a story. She arrived in 2016 in January from the town further along called Palaboa. She was found in a toilet block of a lodge. She could have been there for about 3 or so days. She was very dehydrated and traumatized on arrival. She suffered trauma for a couple of months, refused to drink milk and anything like that. She needed to feel a lot of love, and finally she met another orphan called Dudley, and Lychee became her foster mom.
Alright, can't do anything.
Monkey protocol and hierarchy is a very, very difficult thing to understand, and sometimes these younger monkeys, especially if they don't come in as orphans, don't always know how to behave properly, and that's what can cause a little bit of the upset.
So she's just getting a little groom, so a little bit of aggro, which is not uncommon, but usually afterwards she'll give a little apology groom, so you just have to let them. So Aisha's only been in for a few minutes and already getting the groom on.
Sometimes this type of interaction is due to the dominant female coming close to the enclosure and basically having a look to see what's going on, and then just out of respect the female will show her support for the dominant female and basically put the new sibling in its place, just because she's scared that she's going to get into trouble with the higher ranking female. So they've got a very, very strict hierarchy, and one has to be extremely careful with what you do and how you're doing it, because it can lead to injuries. Fortunately in this case it didn't, but sometimes it could lead to little Charlotte being put into her place, and then hopefully that would lead to going into the troop eventually. But it's always a tough scenario and very, very difficult to predict. Fortunately in this case things went down very, very well, and Charlotte actually acted a little bit more submissive. So things turned out okay. If she had gone the other way, she would have definitely been put in her place.
Big day for Bobby and Candi. So Bobby's just having a drink. They're meeting foster moms today. So the idea is to get moms called Cheyenne and Melandro in. Let's see if they like these guys. Candi does not want to be filmed. Got Candi with alpha female Precious. Vocalizing and touching her all over. And Candi really seems to like her, but as she's the alpha female, we can't have her as a foster mom.
Precious came in as a tiny little orphan. She was found by one of the neighbors, very dehydrated, still with a little umbilical cord attached. She came in 2010, and she's been the alpha female for quite a few years now. She has a flat face with a grumpy expression and scars on her bottom lip and a cut on her left ear, all from fighting for hierarchy.
Got Melandro with the babies. Had to distract the alpha female Precious, who was just blocking the door. It's just Candi screaming and running away. Bobby seems quite interested now.
Melandro also came in 2010. She's a smallish female with a long, small face, slim body, and slightly curved to her spine. She has a kink at the end of her tail, but she's fairly low ranked, but she's a good foster mom. She fostered Turk and Shanae.
Melandro is on the perch with both babies. Much lip smacking going on. Candi's hugging onto her belly. And Bobby hugging Candi and lip smacking as well. Candi squeaking for some reason. Not happy with Melandro leaving. Melandro came up to them again. Now is Candi on her belly again. Candi's hand is a little bit bloody because she got bitten actually by Felice through the fence. So it might be that Felice is upset over Maggie leaving because we put Maggie back in Disneyland. She has to be in human care some longer. And let it out on little Candi here, so she has a wound on her right hand. Honey Bear just coming in. Babies are huddled up in the corner. Oh, and she's coming over. Candi's making sure that she gets all the attention. Hug to her belly as well. Bobby and Honey Bear. Probably more interested in the food than in the mom. Honey there stuffing her face with some nice stuff that she doesn't get in the troop. Like cauliflower and apple. Bobby playing with Melandro. Might be a little bit too much. Just energetic playing. Bobby and Cheyenne.
I don't think little Bobby expected that, and he's not really too sure what he should do next. Hiding inside the cage and just having a peep out and said, what the hell just happened there?
The main feed, here we've got Cheyenne eating with Bobby and Candi. Candi sniffing her mouth. And she's grown in confidence a little bit. Still a bit nervous though, like when they come to her. And now there's a little fight going on because of the alphas. Well, not a fight, but a little commotion. So we've got the alpha female Precious outside with Giovanni actually. Got Cheyenne briefly redirecting to the baby. Cheyenne grooming Bobby. Cheyenne and Candi. Candi grooming her face. She's even lip smacking. And Bobby joining. Bobby just adjusted the brightness. Thank you, Bobby. Candi found a nipple. She seems determined to bite off. Bobby, can you stop?
Cheyenne's still in with Bobby and Candi, and Bobby just absolutely loves his swing. He's been on it so much today, so just wanted to take a little clip so you can see him enjoying and having fun. It's important when vervets are rehabilitated that
they can learn to balance, because there's lots of flexible branches out in the troop. They also need to be able to do things whilst looking out for danger. Cheyenne. So they've got Cheyenne. Cheyenne foster mummy. So they need to be able to balance, look out for danger, check where their food is all at the same time. So the swings really help them actually with their muscles, and to get used to swinging branches out in the trees as well, to realise that it's not all static things do move, and they need to be careful and have a lot of fun at the same time, of course. Candi with foster mum Cheyenne. You can see whilst the neighbours are squabbling, monkeys make a lot of noise when they fight, then Candi is cuddled up to female Cheyenne, which is good. She's seeking her for comfort. So I'm caring for this little boy tonight. Hannah has done a good job at rehydrating him, and now he's just having some milk. So we're starting him off, because he was very dehydrated, then we're starting him off with half strength milk. So we've diluted it, because if you've got a very malnourished baby, then they can get what's called refeeding syndrome, where their organs can kind of go into shock. So we want to make sure that we feed him slowly. He's had some fruits and lots of hydration before we start feeding him the milk, and now he's at the point, he's dribbling some of it but the rest he's actually swallowing, that he actually actively wants the milk. So we're just using a syringe because he doesn't know how to suckle from a bottle at the moment. And he was actually quite fast asleep for the last 2 hours, but I've just woken him up to make sure that he gets some milk because he's extremely thin. I'll be checking on him throughout the night and giving him some extra fluids in the night as well. So that's nearly 15 mils that he's had, and we'll pop him in his cage so that he can rest. It's important they get plenty of rest when they're in this state, just to be able to heal. So the second night for our little baby. It's number 34. He's just started to kind of suckle at the teat, which is good. Hey little one. So tomorrow he's going back to the vets again, just for a check to see how his prognosis is going to be, see if there's anything further we can do for him. He was on a drip today, and he's on 2 lots of antibiotics. He's having a lot of natural meds throughout the day as well to keep his immune system strong. So he's going to stay here with me tonight, and we'll be checking him throughout the night, every couple of hours, making sure he's got enough fluids and is still hydrated. So he's just started eating by himself, which is good news. Found his fruit bowl. Little Beau's doing very well this morning, just eating some banana. Need some help with that. Becky said he had a good night's sleep. We do wake him up at in the middle of the night to give him some extra fluids so he doesn't dehydrate. But you can see he's quite full of a bit more energy this morning, which is good news. Beau wants to go for a little walk this morning. Oops. Oopsie. So at the moment we're just, the main managers are looking after him at the moment because we're also pushed for resources still and people. Then a few of the managers are looking after him and Becky now and again, just so that we can also, when he's resting, then we can do some of our admin work at the same time, just to try and improve efficiency whilst we don't have so many people. But it doesn't affect him because he goes in his small cage, he goes to sleep, and then we can also get a bit of work done too. Beau's been walking around quite a lot this morning. You can see he does circle a bit, but he can also go in straight lines too, which is good. Beau's absolutely loving this marula. Marulas are an indigenous fruit in South Africa, so no doubt he's probably come across these in the wild. And they're absolutely full of vitamin C, which of course is good for wound healing, and it's a good antioxidant. So he's enjoying that this morning. He's just had quite a walk around. They are taking care of him in what we call critical care. So at the moment it's either in the office area, a house, a room, the surgery, or somewhere where we can care for him in a good way that gives him lots of comfort. So he has been in our surgery in the critical care part of it, but now that the managers, we're low on resources with people, then we're actually, when he's resting, because he tends to rest for about an hour at a time, then we're able to do some work. So hence being in the office. And Beau's also stuffing his face with banana now. Finished his marula and now he's started on the bananas. He's really full of a lot more energy today and feels much stronger, but he wants to do everything himself, so he's making a mess of it. But at least he's grabbing things in the banana and shoving it in his mouth, and yeah, he's doing much better. Let's just hope it continues and there's not more complications with his head. Beau's having another good morning. He's had a good night. He had some rehydration in the night with Eddie looking after him, and now he's just having some milk. He's just had 2 slices of banana, so I don't think the milk goes down quite so well after something sweet. But otherwise he's been drinking very willingly from the miracle teat. Right. Some more.
So we're here at Angle Key. Today is the big day for these 3 babies. We've got Zebulon, Momo and Sky King, and the mum who's not happy with me is Oprah. The babies are very happy because they just got their milks. So on release day we keep a good eye in the morning just to make sure that all 3 babies are drinking really well and they get a good amount of milk into them before release. But obviously going into the trip can be quite intimidating, so they're often trying to stay close to mum and don't want to venture too far to the feeding cages. So it's not uncommon for them to not drink for the rest of the day once they go out.
Oprah was born in 2007. She's missing the black tip on her tail due to an injury.
So we have little Zebulon, and this is Sky King on the left, and in the back we have Momo. So we're about 2 hours away from release. We did have Beau in here, an adult female, who was looking after some of them, but they had a little tussle, so we released Beau back into the troop and decided just to keep Oprah, so we'll let her back in when we go to release the babies. So Oprah has already left carrying Zebulon, and now we have just let Beau back in, and she's immediately picked up both babies. So we're looking now to let her out. But unfortunately the Engelke troop really love the intro cages, and they will sit religiously outside that door until they get in. And here she goes. No. A bit slow. And there we go. So Beau is out, carrying both Zebulon and Sky King. And off they go. So this is Oprah with Zebulon, getting a lot of attention as usual. And they've only been out for about 5 minutes. Unfortunately we missed them actually leaving the cage, but here we are. They went straight into the middle, getting a lot of hugs. And generally, historically, this troop is very good with babies in the troop. So Oprah is about middle rank in the troop. So usually with the lower ranked foster moms, they don't like all this attention, and they'll keep moving away. But Oprah has a bit more authority, so she won't be too concerned. Oh, getting a bit too much. Away she goes. I've just spotted. This is Oprah and Zebulon. Just in case she stops there by the... sitting on the feeding cage. Don't think they've been out long enough for him to be hungry though. The way they go. Bye.
Here we have Zebulon and Oprah. I think we have Momo drinking here.
The second day and Zebulon's finally had a drink. We're keeping away from him because, as you can see, the females are very protective of him, and if we get too close to him, that's his mum there, Oprah, if we get too close to him, then the mums quickly carry him away. So we're very pleased he's drank. It's been quite a long time. He did have lots of cucumber yesterday with water content in, and he's had some food, but of course the important thing is that he drinks his milk. Everybody else is drinking nicely, Sky King and Momo. Must be in there having a long drink. Hopefully a whole bottle. And there's Mum's waiting just outside, telling him to hurry up. And he goes out straight back to Mummy Oprah, so we're going to see how much he's drank now. So how much did he drink, Chloe?
All the bottle.
Excellent.
He was really thirsty.
Okay, good. That's fantastic news. That's what we were waiting for.
Yeah.
Zebulon. This is Zebulon with Oprah.
It's in times like these that your contributions really help and go towards looking after these very traumatized little ones that come in and have really had a hard time right from the beginning. So thank you everybody there for becoming part of the family, for helping us get along, for your donations, your concern, for sharing, joining Patreon and our various social media sites. All of these are helping us and help us care for these little ones that sometimes come in such a traumatic state, and it takes a lot of vet visits to basically get them right and get them back out there to a troop and live their lives as normally as possible. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.